My name is Rowena Murdaugh. I'm 36 years old, and I make a living appraising objects people lock away because they're too valuable or too dangerous to be touched. I'm the youngest child in a Charleston family that worships tradition, appearances, and my older brother's name. While I've always existed on the margins, quieter, unmarried, trusted with valuables, but never with authority. I learned early how to stay invisible, how to swallow disappointment, how to be useful without being seen. Still, I believed there were lines even my family wouldn't cross. I was wrong, because the night I refused to give my sister-in-law a necklace worth $370,000, something far more precious than jewelry disappeared. And when I finally checked the cameras, I realized the betrayal wasn't the worst part. It was just after 10 p.m. when I stepped into the study. A low hum from the AC, the faint scent of mahogany and metal polish. I pressed my palm against the smooth panel behind the bookshelf. A soft click. The wall shifted. Inside, the vault was quiet, clean, chilled to exactly 65 degrees. My heels tapped against the tile as I crossed to the center island and unlatched the glass-top case. Empty. No black velvet. No diamond shimmer. No clasp. Just air. My breath snagged. I checked again. Top drawer. Bottom tray. Back hinge compartment. Nothing. The Edelweiss necklace. 37 carats of early 1900s diamonds, platinum filigree. Signed de Villiers and Sons. Worth $370,000 on paper. Worth the rest of my grandmother's dignity in spirit. Gone. I froze. Closed the case. Stared into my reflection in the vault's mirror wall. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Elodie. Turn on Channel 5. Right now. I did. A live feed from the Charleston Rose Gala. Candlelight. Ball gowns. Champagne towers. And Callista von Murdaugh, my sister-in-law, beaming in the center frame. Wearing the necklace. Not a replica. Not a loaner. Mine. The same piece she'd asked for 3 nights ago while sipping red wine and playing the part of dutiful Southern belle. Just for the gala, she said sweetly. It would mean so much. You never even wear it, Ro. And when I said no, firm, cold, direct, she blinked, smiled, and changed the subject. I thought that was the end of it. Apparently, Callista didn't hear no. She heard try harder. The screen froze on her face, the diamonds glinting just under her collarbone. I slammed the phone down, checked the vault log. No signs of entry, no triggered alarms, no forced tampering, which meant one thing: whoever took it had my codes, my access, my trust. The only people with that kind of access? Family. I called Bennett. He picked up on the second ring, voice warm, casual. Hey, Ro. Where is it? I snapped. A beat of silence. Where's what? The necklace. She's wearing it on live television. That piece is insured under my name. You had no right. Relax. He chuckled. It's just for one night. She's already promised it to one of the auction sponsors. I gripped the phone tighter. You don't get to give away what isn't yours. You sound hysterical. A pause. Be careful, Ro, he said, tone dropping. You know how it looks when people, like you, start accusing people like us of theft. People like you. People like us. Cut line. Classic Bennett. I hung up. Dialed the security firm. Logged into the remote vault feed. The last footage, 1:14 a.m. Blurred frame. Motion detected. Then nothing. File corrupted. Convenient. I clicked through the archive, scrolling backward. Blank. Clean. As if someone knew exactly what to delete, and exactly where to cover their tracks. Adrenaline hit hard. Sharp. I stood in the center of the study, heart pounding, fingers trembling, the silence of the house suddenly loud. I didn't lose the necklace. Someone with my last name stole it. I parked 2 blocks away from Bennett's office. Didn't want my car spotted in the lot. Didn't want questions. Didn't want whispers echoing through Charleston's old money halls. The city smelled like salt and pine and secrets tonight. Inside the law firm's lobby, the air was too cold, too clean. I stepped through the frosted glass door to his private office. No secretary, no clients, just Bennett, whiskey in hand, rolled sleeves, tie undone like he wanted to look relaxed, like he'd already won. "You shouldn't have come here this late," he said without looking up. I wasn't asking permission. He took a slow sip, then met my eyes. "You saw it," I said. "The necklace. Callista wore it on live television." He smiled. Not surprised. Not sorry. "I told her to." My hands curled into fists. "You broke into my vault." "No row," he said, pouring more whiskey. "I used the access Mom gave me. The spare code you gave her 5 years ago. Emergency purposes, remember?" I stepped forward, voice sharp. "That code was for fires, floods, not theft." Bennett tilted his head. "You really want to call it theft? It's a family piece. You're not exactly showcasing it." "It's mine. I'm the legal owner. It's appraised under my firm. It's insured under my name." He laughed soft. "You're being dramatic. It's temporary. Callista's raising money. For good causes. There's nothing good about stealing." He leaned in, eyes narrowing. "Rowena, be careful. Emotional outbursts don't look good in courtrooms. Or insurance filings. Would be a shame if someone questioned your mental fitness. Maybe you've been under stress lately? Paranoid? Overreacting?" Every word was a trap. "You're threatening me?" "I'm reminding you what it looks like. You yelling. Us calm." I stared at him. "Sometimes," I said, "silence isn't strength. It's just fear dressed in pearls." He scoffed. I turned to leave. Then he said it casual like a joke. "You know, Callista already promised that necklace for auction, right? Big donor, lined up. Pulling it back now would make us all look unstable." I stopped cold. "It's being sold." "No, not yet. Just prepared." Something cracked deep in my chest. "You've got 48 hours, he added, "before this whole thing becomes permanent." Cut scene. My boots echoed through the marble corridor. The click too loud. The lights too white. I stepped out into the humid night. Dialed Elodie. She answered on the second ring. "I need you to trace something for me," I said. "Callista promised a necklace for auction. I want to know who's buying, who's holding, who's touching it." "You think it's moving?" "I think I have 2 days before it disappears forever." Cut scene. Back at home, I locked the deadbolt. Then the chain. Then the second lock I'd never used before. I opened the vault again. Searched not for what was missing, but what else they might have touched. Files. Insurance records. Certificate of ownership. Still there. Wait. The document folder had a smudge on the clasp. A faint fingerprint. Fresh. Someone had handled it. Recently. I logged into my home security app. Pulled up the feeds. Living room. Entry hall. Vault door. Each with perfect, frozen footage. Except one. Camera 4. The side angle pointed at the desk. Corrupted. I clicked again. Same result. Corrupted. I clicked Restore from Cloud. Apin Wellspun. Then failed. Message. Deleted by authorized user. Authorized. Not hacked. Not forced. Inside job. I checked the event log. 1:14 a.m. Access granted. No alarm triggered. My stomach dropped. Whoever did this knew the system, knew my passwords, knew how to erase without leaving a trace. Callista wouldn't have that kind of knowledge, but Bennett would. I pulled the file access report, looked for anything strange. A second account had been added to my security system 10 days ago. Admin level. Name. Housekeeper. I live alone. I deleted the account. Reset every password. Every code. Then I sat on the floor of the vault. Breath short, the air suddenly thick. They hadn't just stolen from me. They were still watching. They were inside. The footage wasn't corrupted. It was erased by someone who knew exactly where to look. 2:11 a.m. The room was pitch black. I sat on the edge of the couch, laptop open, eyes burning from staring too long at still frames. No sound, just my pulse. The backup footage loaded in silence. From the angle no one knew existed. An old motion-activated cam tucked into the crown molding above the bookcase. I'd installed it years ago during a rash of Charleston break-ins. I'd forgotten it existed. Until now. I scrubbed to the timestamp. 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 44 seconds. The frame blinked. A figure emerged from the hallway. Hooded. Careful. Holding gloves. The door to my vault wasn't forced. The keypad lit up. They entered the correct code on the first try. My code. The door opened. He stepped into frame fully, tall, confident, familiar. Bennett. No hesitation. No panique. Like he'd done this before. He moved to the case. Punched in the second code. Lifted the glass. Then something shifted. Behind him, another shape emerged. Smaller. Slower. Wearing black boots and a scarf around her face. They didn't speak, but they moved in sync. Efficient. Rehearsed. The necklace wasn't stolen. It was collected. And I just found proof. I pressed record. Saved it to 3 locations. OneDrive. OneCloud. One encrypted folder labeled tax receipts. Then my phone lit up. Unknown number. I didn't answer. Let it ring. The voicemail icon blinked. I hit play. A low voice distorted. Mail. You're playing a dangerous game, Rowena. The necklace is insured. You are not. Click. Cut scene. My hands shook. I turned off the lights, locked every door again, then stared at my reflection in the glass of the microwave. Was it Bennett? Someone working with him? Someone watching me? Every secret has a shadow, I whispered, and every thief forgets where light can hit. I didn't sleep. I waited until morning. Then I drove. Elodie's place was 30 minutes out. Far enough from the city to feel anonymous. Close enough to still be useful. She opened the door in sweats, coffee in hand. You look like you wrestled with hell, she said. I think I filmed it. We sat at her kitchen table. I showed her the footage. She didn't blink, didn't speak for a full minute. Then, you have a decision to make. Burn it all down, or let them hang you quietly. I want both. Then you better move fast. Cut scene. We started digging. Public property records. Business licenses. Online auctions tied to Callista's name or anyone she was linked to. Elodie found it first. Here, she said, spinning her laptop around. An invite-only auction house, hosted through a secure server. No name. Just initials. ALR. A new listing appeared last week. Private collection. European origin. Item 1473. Early 20th century platinum filigree necklace. Valuation. $375,000. There was no photo, but the dimensions were exact. The item was scheduled for final transfer in 2 days. If it left U.S. soil, I'd lose jurisdiction. And once it's sold, the trail would vanish. Where's the auction happening? I asked. Savannah. In-person preview. Tomorrow. I stood. I'm going. Alone. I nodded. You're not thinking clearly, Ro. I'm thinking for the first time in years. She watched me, silent. Then, don't trust the walls you grew up in. That's where the rot hides best. Cut scene. Back at my house, I started packing. Not clothes, evidence. The footage. The logs. Copies of ownership certificates. Every piece of leverage I had left. I checked the front door again. Locked. Then the back. Window latch. Open. My breath caught. I hadn't touched it in weeks. Someone had. I reached for my phone, opened the app, checked the logs. 2 pings from the window sensor, both after midnight, both labeled dismissed. I never dismissed them. Someone had. From inside, my hands went cold. I walked back into the hallway. Every shadow looked wrong. Every creak in the wood felt scripted. Someone had been here. Might still be. I grabbed my bag, keys, and left through the front without looking back. As the door clicked shut behind me, one thought cut through everything else. My brother didn't steal the necklace alone, and whoever helped him knew where I lived. Savannah's riverfront glinted like oil under moonlight. Too clean, too slick. The kind of place where secrets weren't buried, they were displayed, lit with gallery lights and auction paddles. I parked near the loading dock. Low profile, Nova lit. Elodie texted coordinates. Warehouse 7. Back entrance. Cameras at 10 and 2. You've got 90 minutes before preview closes. I moved fast. Dark jeans. Gloves. Hood up. Backpack pressed against my spine. No gun. Just footage, contracts proof. The door was ajar. Not open. Not locked. Inviting. Inside, silence. Then the click of heels. 2 rooms ahead. I ducked behind a pillar. Peeked. Rows of velvet-covered pedestals, glass casings, soft overhead light. No staff. Just a single man hunched over a laptop at a folding table. Lit blue from the screen. I slipped left. Into shadows. Past crates marked estate transfers and CVM. Callista von Murdaugh. I stopped. A steel case. Labeled 1473. I reached for it. Opened. There it was. My grandmother's necklace. Still intact. Still real. The clasp worn. The diamonds catching light like shattered glass. But something else sat beside it. An invoice. International shipping form. Buyer anonymous. Destination. Luxembourg. Final price. $390,000. Signature. Not Callista. Bennett. Cut scene. I heard a door creak. Steps. I slid the case shut. Moved fast. But not fast enough. Rowena, a voice said. Come. Familiar. I turned. Bennett stood in the hallway. Jacket off. Sleeves rolled. No Ismail. You weren't supposed to see this. You forged my signature. He didn't deny it. You're selling stolen property across borders. That's federal. He nodded. I know. A pause. Then he stepped closer. No rus. Like he was explaining a recipe. You left everything in your name. So generous of you. I just repurposed it. You broke in. Twice. You gave me the codes. I revoked them. You think that matters now. He motioned toward the necklace. It's already sold. You can scream, call the cops, file reports. But that necklace leaves tomorrow morning. And you know what happens after that. I didn't answer. He stepped closer. Nothing. Because people like you, quiet, polite, self-righteous, don't win. You fold. I pulled out my phone. Pressed one button. The screen lit up. Live. Streaming to Elodie's encrypted server. He froze. The room's wired, I said. Every word you just said? It's archived. If anything happens to me, she sends it to the feds. His face shifted. Cold now. You really want to destroy the family? You already did. He lunged. I ducked left, slammed the case shut, grabbed it, ran. Footsteps thundered behind me. The hallway blurred. Exit sign glowed red ahead. Then, a shout. Another figure appeared from the other side of the gallery. Deputy Aaron Pike. Gun drawn. Voice sharp. Drop it. I stopped. Bennett stopped. Aaron stepped between us. You're done, Murdaugh. Bennett's eyes widened. You. Live stream hit the state server 6 minutes ago. You sold out your family, your bar license, and your future. Sirens in the distance. Closer. Fust. I stepped backward. Pike waved me toward the door. Go, he said. Now. Outside, the air hit like ice. I kept walking until the sirens swallowed the building behind me. I didn't turn around. I didn't breathe. Not until the necklace case burned warm against my chest. They're not just laundering the necklace. They're laundering my identity. The warehouse alarms didn't go off until I was 3 blocks away. Too late. I drove until my hand stopped shaking, then pulled over beneath a dead streetlight and checked the live stream feed. Elodie had locked it down, mirrored it, pushed it to 3 redundant servers. Once something touches the internet, it doesn't disappear, it multiplies. That's the first rule of modern truth. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I answered this time. Turn around, Bennett said. No distortion now. Calm. Controlled. You left something behind. I didn't ask what. I knew. Meet me, he said, or I release a statement. You unstable. You stole from the family vault. I was protecting Callista. I laughed. It came out sharp, wrong. You taught me something once, I said. When people rush to explain, it's because the lie is already bleeding. A pause. Then 30 minutes. Old Devereux Gallery. Come alone. Cut scene. The gallery sat on the edge of the river, boarded windows, scorched brick from a fire years back. It smelled like damp ash and rust. History, pretending to be forgotten. I parked with the engine running. Inside, emergency lights flickered. Red. Then white. Then red again. The necklace lay on a pedestal in the center room. Lit. Waiting. Bennett stood behind it. So you did come, he said. Still the obedient one. Still the one who cleans up your messes, I shot back. He gestured around us. This ends tonight. One way or another. You're right, I said, but not the way you think. I tapped my phone. The live stream indicator glowed. His eyes flicked to it. I already told you, he said. You don't have proof that matters. I stepped closer. You forged my signature. You moved stolen property across state lines. You threatened me. And you forgot one thing. What? You always underestimated how quiet people listen. I swiped. The backup footage played on the gallery wall. Him. The vault. The second figure. Callista's boots stepping into frame. His face drained. She was just a front, he snapped. A face. She didn't plan this. No, I said softly. You did. He lunged for the pedestal. I shoved it over. The necklace slid. Skidded. Sparks as metal hit concrete. Bennett stumbled. Recovered. Reached into his jacket. I heard the click. Gun. Everything slowed. The way it does when truth finally shows its teeth. People like us don't lose, he said. We rewrite. You're wrong, I said. People like you panic. I threw the emergency flare Elodie had forced into my bag. Red fire exploded across the floor. Smoke. Heat. Alarms screaming now. Real this time. Bennett fired. Missed. The bullet shattered a glass case behind me. I ran. Footsteps. Shouting. Sirens. Close. Too close to ignore. Endings don't belong to the powerful, I yelled over the noise. They belong to whoever survives them. I ducked behind a pillar as smoke filled the room. Bennett coughed, swore, slipped, and then the doors burst open. Floodlights. Guns raised. Drop it, voices shouted. Deputy Pike stepped forward, badge catching the light. Calm. Centered. Bennett froze. For the first time, fear cracked his face. The gun clattered to the floor. They cuffed him there, soot-streaked, coughing, furious. As they dragged him past me, he leaned in close and hissed, You think this makes you free? I met his eyes. No, it makes me honest. Outside, fire crews swarmed the building. Red lights washing the night. Phones already out. Someone recognized me. Someone whispered my name. Elodie appeared at my side. breathless, eyes bright. "The stream hit 5,000 viewers," she said. Then 10. I looked back at the gallery as smoke poured from its doors. "I used to believe family was armor," I said quietly. "Turns out it's just another weapon if you let it be." She squeezed my arm. "You did good." I shook my head. "I did necessary." The medics waved me over. Questions would come. Statements. Depositions. Headlines. But standing there, watching my brother disappear into the back of a patrol car, one truth cut clean through the noise. For the first time, my last name didn't shield him, it exposed him. The courthouse steps smelled like wet stone and coffee. Morning cameras. Afternoon verdicts. Nightfall apologies. I stood off to the side as reporters clustered around the entrance, microphones blooming like metal flowers. Bennett's name moved through the crowd in sharp whispers. Fraud. Interstate theft. Conspiracy. Words that once felt impossible now read like subtitles. Elodie leaned close. Federal charges stuck. Bail denied. I nodded. No celebration. Just air returning to my lungs. "Truth doesn't always arrive clean," she said. "But when it does, it stays." Cut scene. The necklace came back to me 3 days later in a padded evidence box, escorted by 2 agents who didn't smile. The clasp was scorched. 1 diamond chipped. It looked smaller somehow, like it had aged a century in a week. Still beautiful. Still dangerous. I signed the receipt. Ownership restored. Case pending. Conditions attached. Law has a way of touching everything with gloves. At home, the vault felt different. Emptier. I set the box on the island and stared at it until the house settled around me. I remembered my grandmother's hands, steady, stubborn. She used to say that objects remember what we do with them. That value is just a story we agree to tell. I opened the box. The necklace caught the light and threw it back at me, fractured. "Nothing that shines is innocent," I said aloud, and surprised myself by smiling. Cut scene. My parents called at dusk. I let it ring twice. Then I answered. Mother cried first. Father spoke like a judge. Regret. Confusion. Family. The words fell in the order they always had. "He's still your brother," my father said. I watched the window as rain traced lines down the glass. "And I'm still your daughter." Silence. "You didn't protect me," I added, quieter. "You protected the idea of him." Another pause. Longer. Mother whispered, "We didn't know." That's the lie people tell when knowing would cost them comfort. I hung up before anyone could apologize. Cut scene. Callista vanished. Her attorney filed notices from abroad. No forwarding address. No statements. Just distance. She'd always wanted a bigger world. Now she had one with no edges to hold on to. I didn't chase her. Some escapes are their own sentence. Cut scene. The museum called the next morning. New York. Decorative arts. A curator with a voice like velvet and steel. "We can accept the necklace on extended loan," she said. "Anonymous if you prefer." "I do." "Why give it up?" I looked at the vault door, at the codes I'd changed, at the cameras I'd added. "Because possession isn't protection," I said, "and I'm done guarding things that invite fire." She paused. "We'll take care of it." "I know." Cut scene. The handoff was quiet. No gala. No donors. Just white gloves and careful signatures. The necklace disappeared into a case designed to keep time at bay. As I turned to leave, the curator said, "People think legacy is what you keep." I stopped. "Legacy," I said, "is what stops hurting when you let go." Outside, the city breathed. Traffic. Voices. The ordinary miracle of motion. Cut scene. Weeks later, my house felt like mine again. New locks. New routines. The sense, finally, that the walls weren't listening. At night, I still checked the cameras. Old habits die politely, but the fear had thinned. What remained was clarity. Elodie sent a message. A screenshot. Headline clipped clean. Local attorney arrested in multi-state art fraud scheme. Below it, a comment thread arguing over names and guilt and whether blood should weigh more than law. I closed it. There's a saying I once heard, passed around by people who survived storms. You don't choose your family, but you choose who gets to stay. Another. The truth is heavy, but lies sink faster. I poured a glass of water. No whiskey. No celebration. Just quiet. Later, I drove north with the windows down, fog rolling in from the river, the road unspooling like a promise that didn't need witnesses. I didn't check the mirror. Some endings don't explode. They exhale. And as the city fell away, I understood the last thing my grandmother never had to explain. Some legacies are only safe when they're no longer mine to protect.